Yeah, I know, Jordan's going full Topic Arlo this time, but that's because I have a lot to talk about, so bear with me. So today's video is going to be a bit of a mix, because I've created a bunch of ideas for videos, but not all of them are long enough to fill an entire video's runtime. So I created this video where I'll talk about all the miscellaneous stuff. You might be surprised at the amount of rambling I can do. Just take a look at the Dance XL video for why. Please don't. I want to start off with updates on this channel, mostly because videos and things I do aren't really consistent around here. I want to start off by saying that I do have 2 videos I'm currently working on. I've decided that I'll be making a full video review on Madoka Kuroi Was Impervious to My Charms. I teased it in the Oniski video, but this time I'll watch the entire TV show and give my thoughts and feelings on it. I already worked on the first episode, but that dropped before I changed my format, which is also something I want to talk about. Before the Oniski video, I used reaction images to represent myself, but starting with the Oniski video and any video onwards that I upload will follow the format of me using a character to represent myself. I'm a sucker for sprites in games like visual novels. I don't have an original character as of right now, and I don't feel comfortable showing my face, so this is what I want to start doing. In fact, by doing this, I open up a lot more avenues than just using an image. I can do things like this, and this,
the fuck?
and that.
Objection pertains to the case currently under adjudication.
Stop. It's a good way of getting my messages across as well. I'd like to thank the person that suggested this at UHeart. Back to the Madoka video. Although the first episode is done, I'll probably remake it with sprites and make changes if need be. I don't have a timeline for when I would want it to be done, but if I had to give a window, maybe by the end of the summer, start of fall. And much like the Oniski video, it'll be me reviewing the entire TV show, not just half of it. And I don't want to freak out like I did with the Oniski episode, especially at the end of the second episode. I might say some stuff, but it won't be as frequent as it was in that video. And yes, I know a second season is in the works, probably immediately making my video antiquated, but I was reinvigorated with the intro to video class I did during my spring semester, and I still got some of that energy now. Another video idea that I've been tinkering with, but haven't decided if I'm gonna go through with it, is making a video based on Zatutabi. But unlike every other video I made up until this point, this video is going to be me praising the show. I truly believe Zatutabi is one of the most underrated shows of 2025 when I watched it. I love watching Suzuki go on adventures either by herself or with her friends. And I wanted to talk about how much I like the show. I don't know if I'm gonna be making a full review of it, because the thing I'm getting stuck on is how I would make something like this work. I feel like watching a show where I would say, this is good, or I love this show, wouldn't be as interesting compared to me watching a TV show where I'm talking about a show I don't enjoy. I've already started work on a script, and I even went on a trail near my house to give off those Zatutabi vibes with me going on a journey myself, which I'll start the video off with, so maybe I'll get it to work. I obviously don't have a timeline for this video because I want to get through the Madoka video first before I make any future videos, and it's hard to do things when you're a college student and working at the same time. Any future content that I make after that is up in the air, really. Just seeing how things go. So I recently bought Bleach, Rebirth of Souls. Did I mention how much I really don't like these GameStop stickers? Because they're such a pain in the ass to come. See, like, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. I tried peeling it off myself. Just look at this. Look at this. You see that? You see that? It scratched the art itself. It's a game that came out in March of 2025, published by Bamco and developed by Tamsoft. The makers of, the company that worked on Senran Kagura games and Blonde plus Neptune vs. Zombies. I like browsing the PS5 digital store. I like browsing malls. I guess I won't be able to have a coach. And I like just rambling about all kinds of things. While I was about, I went to a GameStop nearby and found this game used for less than $30. And I thought, this looks quality, might check it out. I went with Bleach mostly because I really don't know anything about Bleach. I've never watched the anime, whether it be the original, 1000-Year Blood War. Hell, I didn't know any characters' names outside of Orihime, and even then, I don't know what her character is about. Because I'm mostly into, ladies and gentlemen, slice of life fans. This is what happens when you watch TJ Club and
Sorry, but I'm not holding
Minami
back
K.
anymore.
What are you talking about?
With your spiritual pressure really shouldn't be so easily rattled.
Going in blind. Yeah, it was a fighting game. A pretty decent one. I like the design of the menus, and the visuals go off. The music is good, and I like the overall presentation. The overall presentation hits well, and it's smooth. I'm usually known for playing single-player, story-driven games like Alan Wake 2, which I enjoyed so much that I bought the game's deluxe edition, or Ryza DX, which is, I think, the first time I ever bought a Ryza game outright. I played Ryza before on my Steam Deck, but it was rough, and even visual novels, for example, Riddle Joker. Now, I'm gonna say this, I ain't no Maximilian dude.
I'm fucking crying.
But after spending some time playing Rebirth of Souls, I think the fighting game itself, the moment-to-moment gameplay, it's It's okay. It's one of those triangle system plus big type of games. Attacks beat breaks, breaks beat blocks, blocks beat attacks, which to me made the game feel heavy, almost. It might be because I'm used to loose style games, both in and out of the fighting game space, that let you go chaotic with stuff like Xenoverse, or even ARPGs like Zenless, which we'll talk about in a minute. So before I made this video and recorded footage for it, which is recorded at 30 FPS, I'm sorry, I have an explanation for that. I didn't really get used to the game and its approach, but after playing a few matches, I can say that yeah, the game does feel a little heavy. I also felt weird about how some things like cutscenes, which are nice to watch, but the transitions into different arenas isn't smooth at all. When you move to a different arena, the screen cuts to black, takes you to a loading screen, and then you get back to the fight.
What happened? Oh. Oh, it's got scenes. That's so cool. I mean, that's cool, but I feel like they're a lot smoother in other games.
I wish it was more like Dead or Alive, where everything happens without having to cut to a black screen. It's such a weird decision. I'm also kind of iffy on the fact that the game doesn't have an arcade ladder.
Am I the only one who finds it odd that there is no real arcade ladder in this game? The only thing that you have for offline functionality is a training mode, a versus mode, and missions. At least throw in an arcade ladder. I get that there is a story mode, but you couldn't have also offered an arcade ladder?
Hey, future me here. I checked online and I did play a little bit of it myself, and I played through the mission mode because it technically operates like an arcade ladder, but it doesn't at the same time, which is why I'm still keeping this part in the video. It has a story mode, which retells roughly the first 5 major arcs, and to both Bamco and Tamsop's credit, there's tons of story content in the story mode. There's over 130 story chapters for just the main story, as well as secret stories, so there's a lot of content on the story side, which I have to praise them for. I could also tell they cared about the source material too. The character models look really good. They brought in the English dub voice actors and actresses from the anime, including Johnny Young Bosk, who plays Ichigo.
Come on, let's do this.
Michelle Ruff, who plays as Ruika, and Alex Lee, who plays...
I swear to fucking God, Shinji. Now you set him up.
Back, so. Kept you waiting, huh? Alright, I'll get serious now.
Oh man, you went full, I'm scared to say this, but you went full Voltron on me. Oh man, I gotta include that in the video.
I'm also not going to be mean about it just because I'm not that familiar with the source material, even if I did a little research on the source material for this video. It could also be because I'm not really a fighting game fan, but I don't dislike this game. In fact, when I was recording footage for this video, I was having a blast playing the game, chaining combos and stuff.
He keeps doing this shitty taunt. Fuck yes. Oh, yes, I win.
So yeah, I think Rebirth of Souls is a decent game, and I enjoyed my time with it. The presentation and visuals look really nice. I just feel like the gameplay, if it was a little tightened, it probably would have been a lot more fun. Speaking of things I recently got an iPhone 13. Why? Because I wanted to try out iOS, but the phone itself is not what I'm here to discuss. In the footage, I actually briefly talked about this.
You know how with Apple Music, they have those like animated graphics and stuff? I really wish more people would have stuff like that. I'm just stating a point. Can Apple make them work on Android? I would like that. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm awake, so let's talk about Apple Music. The last time we talked about Apple Music was Dance XL Radio, which was, it was alright. Yeah, it was alright, but I feel like Apple Music is getting genuinely good nowadays. They even streamed EDC 2026 on Apple Music Club during its run. Sure, YouTube also hosted it, but Apple Music getting involved at all with EDC is solid. I also like the idea of Apple Music Club in general, just an EDM station, which is something that I was asking for back in 2022, and they made it a reality. I always had the idea that radio stations that focus on genres like electronic dance, hip-hop, pop, and others would have tremendous potential. Good on you, Apple Music. Now please probably properly offer specific genres for stuff like future bass and I'll be happy. Kinda like what Spotify does now. It was always good, even back in 2022, but I think it might be better than Spotify nowadays in my opinion. I genuinely like how it just focuses on music, and I feel like that's a problem that I have with Spotify. It's just too much.
I disabled music videos, because I hate music. I hate seeing that stuff. But I couldn't disable the podcasts and stuff, because if I disable that, it disables the ability for me to see previews.
I feel like Spotify is being a bit bloated too much. They say they're doing this because they want to be the next TikTok or YouTube, or at least compete against both companies, which...
Stop it!
You can disable these music videos and other kind of things, but disabling videos in general, not music videos, disables previews of songs, a useful feature for me. And I don't know why, because they are different. Why can't previews be attached to canvases? Why does it always have to be in the other section alongside podcasts and stuff? Is it because the previews are treated like clips? It's annoying. And like I said, I use the preview feature quite a lot. I think it's one of Spotify's better features, mainly because if I'm honest, I sometimes feel nervous about trying new tracks. I know some people give these things criticism because it's TikToking songs, but I don't really have a problem with them, and I use them often. It's also the only way I can see genres of a song to see what genre a song falls into. I really wish Apple Music had the preview feature similar to Spotify. There are song suggestions on playlists, but most of them offer songs that are years old, and some songs don't have the greatest previews. Some aren't even previews. Some literally are just the start of the song. Like, come on! The one thing that I love about Apple Music, though, and my love for it has increased since I got an iPhone alongside with my Pixel 10, is just how beautiful these animated album arts are. These looped videos that play while a song plays look beautiful. I feel like some look better than others, but if you're listening to a song from Sleeking Blue, or listening to artists like Bunt, or albums like Mirrors by DJ Seinfeld, or Odyssey by Illenium, they have incredible animated album art.
Like, that looks so cool! Like, this looks so cool! That looks incredible! Like, I love the colors and the transitions, and all of this just looks so amazing!
Both canvases on Spotify and animated album art on Apple Music have their positives. I like how canvases can be applied to any song with any video, making it easy to just take an MP4 and slap it onto a song. And I like how Apple Music's animated album art loops and matches with the cover. One thing I feel upset about these things, though, is not only is it hard to get them to work on Android, from my experience, I can only really get them to play from Apple Music Replay playlists, and there's not much of a reason as to why anything else doesn't work, but I also find it disappointing that the adoption is so little compared to Spotify canvases. Like, sometimes I look at a cover of a song and think, this would look so cool with animated album art. Most stuff just doesn't have it because of a few factors, and a lot of it has to do with this document. I really want to see more of these often because I like seeing looping videos play while I listen to a song, and I wish more artists and record labels would use them. I remember looking at the album Burning Out and Asleep in the Garden of the Infernal Stars and was disappointed to not see a motion cover attached to them because these would look so cool. I know there's probably a lot that needs to get it done, but I'd love to see more artists use these because the ones I've already seen look incredible, and I feel like many songs could benefit from them. Just imagine the burning fire, or the amount of potential seeing things like the kayak move in the background would be really cool. I know it's probably not likely, but hey, one can dream, right? To wrap up this section on music streaming, I want to circle back to Spotify, because I feel like the best thing for them to do right now is to just slow down and not update their app every 15 seconds. Oh, and add some system that detects AI music. Verification is nice, like the Verified by Spotify sticker is nice, but it doesn't tell me anything, and saying stuff like this doesn't help. Apple Music could also do that too. So recently I've been getting into Zenless again. Initially I was actually interested in it around 2024 during the beta test, but launching a week after my literal childhood game can lead to plans changing. I played the hell out of Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, and I didn't really get into Zenless until just recently because I've been using my PS5 more. And I feel like playing the game on PS5 is honestly a lot more fun than playing the game on mobile or anywhere else. Maybe with the Steam version coming soon, it might make it easier to play on a Steam Deck. Or maybe not. Maybe it won't make it easier. I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules at all.
I think these new prices will entirely kill the momentum.
You see, I prefer playing it on PS5 because I don't have a powerful enough PC to play the game, and seeing Nicole's face look like this on my iPhone 13 is probably one of the most cursed things I've ever seen. It just feels wrong to me. But even the PS5 version suffers slowdown sometimes when the action gets too actiony. I honestly feel like playing the game with a controller or playing the game with a keyboard and mouse if you're on PC also just feels right. It's kind of the same situation that a certain someone I watched brought up when playing console games on your smartphone, and I kind of agree with him.
That was amazing. But it also didn't work out as well as I wanted it to.
I feel like the best mobile games work when they are made for mobile, like Candies and Curses, an absolutely amazing mobile game. Or make sense, like Layton's Mystery Journey or Agent A. Both of these games were ported to mobile, and since they're both games with taps or point and clicks from the start, work well on mobile. It's also why I don't have a backbone controller for my iPhone 13, mostly because I'll just use it once. And I have a Steam Deck, because having a dedicated device for portable gaming feels better in my opinion than trying to run Steam games on my Pixel 10. The only game I've ever actually played recently on mobile is Trickle Chibi Go, and that game makes more sense for mobile than Zenless does. Either way, I've been playing this game for a few months now, and like I previously said with Rebirth of Souls, I honestly prefer faster paced games like this, and this game is really right up my alley. I know everybody has said this, but the animation is good, it's bouncy, flowy, and looks amazing. Of course, I have a reason as to why I had to half the frame rate of the video, and I mentioned this while capturing footage of the game. It's a technical thing on my part.
But the footage that I'm recording through the capture card and OBS, which is what I'm using to record it, that's kind of all over the fucking place in terms of frame rate when I tried cranking it to 60, so I had to crank it down from 60 to 30.
I think my favorite segments in this game are the visual novel segments and the action segments where you're actually playing the game. I know there are 3 different levels of segments in the game, whether they be cutscenes, the visual novel segments,
Online game warning! This is a warning!
for scenes like this.
Yes!
But I prefer the visual novel segments.
Oh my god, she looks miserable.
I kind of wish the decisions actually did something.
I like the first one. The first one's...
Hang on. What are you guys talking about?
You didn't say it! You didn't say the thing! You didn't say the thing! Come on, say the thing!
I'm also really not into unskippable cutscenes. That might be just a me thing, but I really have a gripe with unskippable cutscenes. At least give me the option to skip them rather than no option at all. Another annoying thing, and I might honestly be in a minority, I don't know. Well, I had to create a new account, even though I already had one, just to get it done. I couldn't just add my previous account. I probably did something wrong, and this could very well be a me issue, but still, I think that's why I held back on playing this game on PS5 for a while, mostly because I couldn't transfer my data from mobile to PS5. Then again, the stuff I'm mentioning, like the PS5 account linking, is almost entirely a one-time thing. Like, you're only really gonna have to do that once, like me, and when I get past all that, yeah, I like this game. Caesar King is my favorite character. She looks cool, I like her hairstyle, she reminds me of a Link-style character with a sword and shield, and I enjoyed her arc in Tour de Inferno the most. Even though that bike game is absolutely pointless. I know a lot of people like Elephant.
I'm Fox.
I mean Miyabi, calm down. And I can see why, but nothing really beats Caesar for me. She's what made me want to get into Zenless in the first place, and can someone tell me where I can find Caesar King's 3D model, because I need it. Like, I need it. I also need a plushie of this character, and I also want to fucking unlock the character, which I can't do. MiHoYo, I'm willing to just buy the character. Give me the option to play as Caesar King. Just give me the option. Anyway, I can go back to being a Caesar stan after this video. So the gameplay itself I had fun with, and the puzzles are kind of solid. It's also fun to tag team with some characters. For example, when I was in the training mode, I was using Promea, and Orphe sometimes would just show up. I also didn't know that you could press and hold down the square button to do some kind of attacks. And the ultimate abilities are nice, and go with each character decently. I'm more into ranged characters because I can do damage from afar, but I don't mind playing as characters in close range. In fact, I kind of learned this the hard way by assuming that ranged characters would be fine so long as you weren't close to them, and that resulted in me losing Billy Kid to a boss one time because of that.
Bet you didn't have very many friends in school, Mia.
Okay, that's personal. Fuck.
And what's interesting about all of this gacha game-wise is I hadn't really spent money on the game. I've been a free user since I started playing. I was initially thinking of paying money, mostly to get you-know-who, and since this isn't her banner, I felt like my chances of getting her were even less. It's mainly because I managed to get Promea and Orphe on my first try, despite not going in with the highest expectations. They were free pulls, not me paying money for either one. I don't know if that counts as, like, a flex or not. There's also another thing I am curious about, and I'll just let the footage do the talking for me because I literally can't find any other references from my side of the game.
Because I could have sworn there was a mission that involved, them if I went out here. If there is, if it shows up, then I might do it on camera. Or not on camera, but on capture. I might capture it. No?
Because I really want to do that side quest, and it showed up shortly after I got Promea, but since the beginning of June, I haven't been able to, which sucks. There are other things I'd like to see in the game, for example, the ability to change expressions of the characters you're taking a selfie with.
But yeah, this is my friend Miyabi. I want to pat her head.
And I don't think I fully understand how W engines work yet, because not only have I never gone through with the gacha with them, I also don't know which one works well with the characters I have. Again, casual Zenless player, so forgive me on that. But yeah, I like Zenless. I've spent the most amount of time with it. It's the game I captured the most footage of for this video, and the game sits between visual novels, Alan Wake 2, and Rise of DX as games I've really been enjoying to play as of late. I think the mobile version is fine, but I prefer playing it on PS5, even if I don't own Caesar King, even if my favorite character in the game is a character that I don't have.
Hang on, go back to that. I'm not done yet. Go back. Yeah, if you pre-order Halo Campaign Evolved, it includes a fucking digital game manual.
So now we're charging more for a digital manual. You funny. You funny, man. You fucking funny.